Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. In tonight's review, let's revisit G.I. Joe Classified Series Flint, number 26. Basically, this Flint action figure is a redeco or remold or reuse of other G.I. Joe Classified Series action figures. Primarily, the figure that we have in mind is the Duke action figure. But with regards to final execution of the product, the end product, we have a really good looking Flint action figure. So for the color scheme, we know that this is the Flint character that we love from the G.I. Joe of the 1980s. It is just a stylized version or a modern adaptation of the character that we know and we love. From being one of the most sought after action figures 5 or 6 months ago, this character now has become a peg warmer. So every Walmart or Target that we visit would always have this Flint action figure available in stock or on hand. So more G.I. Joe Classified Series action figures are on the way. I'm also anticipating the release of the Target exclusive barbecue, but right now we have the Flint action figure. So let's do something to this guy to make it look more like the Flint that we have been used to in the 1980s. So let's proceed with our project. So we'll be trying to really remold this body armor with the chest rig. So I think we're going to get rid of the armor piece, just retaining the chest rig for the action figure. Now for the belt line, we have two belts over here. So this is supposed to be the belt for the pants of the character. The main pistol belt, actually, the pistol belt or the revolver belt would be this secondary belt over here. But I don't know why they designed this belt to be hanging on the left side of the figure, where in fact the pistol is on the right side. It's supposed to be, this belt is supposed to be hanging over here, supporting the weight of the pistol or the revolver. Now we have, as we have seen over here, we have attachment points for individual cartridges or bullets. And we have two cylinders over here. They are not grenades, but they are revolver cylinders, or when you make a reload for a revolver, then you just change the cylinders to new ones. So they are not grenades, but they are reloading cylinders. And I really question why they would put a semi-automatic pistol instead of a revolver with this Flint action figure. If you're going to do this kind of accessories, put this mold on the belt, then might as well put a revolver on this holster. Now, the other thing that I really have a gripe about is with regards to the shotgun. So gun guys out there would agree that you if you are shooting skit, or if you're shooting 2-gun competition or 3-gun competition, then this is just not possible. If you have a pump action shotgun, then use this breech loading thing is something that is not possible for a shotgun design, because we know that most of the shotgun components, actually when you rack this lever over here to reload and extract your used cartridges, the majority of the mechanisms would be over here. So if this is going to be breech loading shotgun, wherein you just put or load your shells directly on the barrel. It defeats the purpose of having a design that looks like a pump action shotgun. So this actually has become a breech loading weapon. So it is no longer a pump action shotgun because we have the elevator over here, we have the main bolt over here, the extractor and the ejector system. Once you move the shotgun, this lever of the shotgun, and the magazine would be over here. So yeah, basically this thing is something of an atrocity in design of a weapon that is being used for for historical purpose, has been used for the longest time. So this is a toy. Let's replace this weapon with a more accurate one. One of the reasons why I got this action figure a few months ago was because of the accessories that was included with her. So actually, she contained two things that I was really interested in. So because I already had that Flint action figure, I had in mind a project that would make that Flint, the G.I. Joe classified action figure, look more like the 1980s Flint that we know. So we have the right pump action shotgun for Flint now, and we also have a revolver. So we'll be changing the weapon system on this guy and doing some modifications to the existing mold of the accessories that are attached to it. So to my fellow collectors who are interested in knowing what Flint looks like without all of the accessories, so this is the base figure that is underneath that vest, the belt, and the pistol holster. So actually the belt is just easy to slide off, the holster is just easy to slide off, but with regards to the vest that's attached to the figure, to the chest area or the body area, I just had to cut this side off over here. So instead of subjecting the action figure to heat with a blow dryer, my wife's blow dryer, or dunking this figure in hot water, I just opted for just sliding off the accessories and using a X-Acto knife to get rid of the vest. So this is the hobby knife that I use for review. So actually I love pointing this at my subject, but the points are already dull. This blade is already used up, and the tip, I really tipped off the sharpest point. So when I point this at my subjects, then I won't have the possibility of scratching any of the detail. But with regards to this other one, that is a really dangerous hobby knife. So this is something that I won't be running my fingers across or trying to poke my finger with it. So this is the one that I used. So the methodology that I cut through is sideways. So instead of doing this cut, that won't be a good idea, but do it sideways this way. So when you make that cut, you still have a lot of area over here, so that majority of these plastic that you could apply some super glue to this area, and the other area also has enough contact points that when you glue them back together, that way that's going to be almost a non-noticeable point that you made contact with an hobby knife over there, so it looks like it's just stuck. So actually, the reason why I took this off from the action figure instead of just cutting directly on the body while this is being attached is I won't be able to really control the amount of pressure that I would be exerting on the blade, that I won't be marrying the action figure behind this this accessory. And it would be easier to make a really nice clean cut. The lines would just be nice and clean and not jarred when this is off the figure. So right now I reduced this accessory into a chest rig with two cards of 12 gauge shotgun shells or cartridges, and we have pouches still over here to store other stuff for Flint. So as you could see, the cuts are just nice and clean and not so jarred. So when you attach this to the figure, the accessory still looks good. It doesn't look like a X-Acto knife has been through the corners of this thing. So I also detached the storage for the pump action shotgun. Anyway, I didn't want that really chunky piece of black plastic hanging on the back of this chest rig. Anyway, I also have another purpose for that piece of accessory, which I would be using with one of my He-Man action figures for weapon storage of the power sword. So yeah, that was my intended purpose, so I cut it off. Anyway, I really am not interested into that kind of thing, and this kind of shotgun, this really skinnier version, won't be fitting on that thing anyway. So once you put it in, it would just be sliding on and off. It's not a snug fit. Plus, I really don't know. I take it as really an ugly piece of accessory that's added to the back of the action figure. I know that it's weapon storage. It adds something to the hype of the figure, but not a fan of it. So I took it off, and I'm going to use painters, this green color, to really cover this black spot over here. I've already attached the chest rig to the figure, and let's take a look at the back. So as you could see, as to the mark where the X-Acto blade cut through this side of this chest rig isn't even visible. It's only on close inspection that you could see the line where the cut was made. But if it's really from this distance, which is about 3 inches away from the camera, that is already not visible. It's nice and clean. Just a little bit of super glue to those two surfaces, and just tap them together and hold for about a minute, and we're good. So we're ready to possibly do the next accessory that we need to custom, which is the belt area. So the original card art of Flint had two pistol belts. So one pistol belt is actually the one that is attached to the sidearm of Flint. Now the other pistol belt is actually the one that is attached to the suspenders where the shotgun cartridges are attached to. The cards, shotgun cartridges are attached to. So two pistol belts, because he's not wearing any accessory or ammunition storage system on him. Actually, it's just suspenders with a belt on, so that's why he needs two belts. So actually that is really 1980s system. So since the Flint action figure that we have is a modern adaptation, so we already have this as the final product or final custom or mod. Okay, so since he has a chest rig, there is no need for a belt for that chest rig because we don't have any suspenders. As to actually where this shotgun cartridges are attached to are the suspenders for the chest rig. So we only need a single pistol belt for this figure. Now what I did was to detach with a X-Acto knife, cut it off, and then for the holster, instead of having the holster over here dangling around the thigh of Flint, so I just detached the straps and glued the the holster to the pistol belt. And fast for the cartridges over here, I just so I just slid it off with a X-Acto knife and re-glued it on the side of this belt. So this belt actually now looks like and feels like the pistol belt that is on the 1980s Flint. And since this revolver is really all steel, that is an all steel sidearm, so we expect that the pistol belt is going to droop, which is evident in the 1980s card art of Flint. So that pistol belt would really droop to the right side where the pistol or secondary weapon is attached to. As for those two reloading systems for the pistol, for the revolver, I just attached them over here. And instead of regluing or painting that black portion where the weapon retention system or holster for the riot shotgun is attached to over here, I just placed these two things which was actually on the original design over here. So yeah, so this is the final product of my custom or modification of this Flint action figure. So a modern design with a 1980s or retro fit or feel. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you on the next